Hello, this is Faith at Faith and Books. I'm afraid to speak up because it's kind of early on a Saturday morning and I don't want the little 4-year-old to hear me and come find me. He tends to do that because he doesn't distinguish so much between work days and weekends, and so he just wants to get up and come upstairs and play with me. And I sort of like to have my Saturday mornings. So I usually, I've taken to going out, taking myself out to breakfast on Saturday mornings, just have a little alone time. But I wanted to real quick do my January wrap up and my February plans, and also take note of the fact that I finished my classics club spin and I read The Tempest. I just managed to get it done under the wire, and I really enjoyed it. I read, the no fear version, but I don't cheat very often. I usually read the side that's the actual Shakespeare, and then if I get befuddled, I come over here, and I'm always rather jarred at how prosaic they interpret his words. But anyway, it was a fun read. I had seen the play before, a really wonderful production at the National Shakespeare Company, something like that, in Washington, D.C., and it was really, really well staged. They somehow managed to allude to Harry Potter, so there were like some sort of visual puns that the audience got, that they sort of added on to The Tempest, all the magic that goes on. And let's see, what else was I going to say? Oh, and the woman who played Miranda was really, really funny. But I enjoyed running across those, well-known sayings that Shakespeare coined, like into thin air is here, brave new world is here, the stuff that dreams are made on is in this. There's a bunch of familiar sayings that we got from Shakespeare from this play. So it was a very enjoyable read. The plot is a little weird because Prospero he's all bent on revenge, but then at the end he sort of just forgives everybody. It's sort of, I don't know, I found that a little bit, it doesn't go the way you think it will go. But anyway, I enjoyed it. I'm glad I finally read The Tempest. So that was my Classics Club spin. So in January, I read Romula by George Eliot and Little Men by Louisa May Alcott and The Tempest. I got to 39% on my, according to the Kindle, for the Rise and Fall of the Third Reich. So I got there. And now for February, I really can't commit to much reading because I have to study for the National Latin exam. I'm scheduled to take it March 12th at 7 p.m. And I had been having a good run of studying, but the last few days I haven't really slacked off. So I have to just throw myself into studying because there's so many things I still need to learn. So that's just going to take my free time for this month and the very beginning of March. So I'm going to try to finish The Rise and Fall of the Third Reich. I'm not going to commit to finishing it, but I'm going to try, and I'll do updates at 50% and 75%, and if I make it all the way through, 100%. And I'm committed to reading Joe's Boys for the read-along A Year with Louisa May. So those are two that I'm going to work on for sure. Anything else is gravy because I just have to study. And I have been reading. I started in January 1st, I started reading Pascal's Pensées. I'm just not getting very much out of it. It's just really obscure sometimes. Sometimes he'll write something, excuse me, that seems insightful. Most of the time I don't know what he's talking about, or he actually comes off as kind of grumpy and just sort of venting about people who irritate him. So it's not really doing much for me, so I'm not going to DNF it because I'm still curious about why so many people found this so powerful. But I'm just going to put it on hold for now because right now I need something more spiritually nourishing. So instead, I think I'm going to try and read this book because Easter is coming up. I mean, Lent is going to start in February. Ash Wednesday is February 26th, I believe. This guy was he wrote another book called The Intellectual Life, which I think is more well known. But he was a French Dominican. I seem to like Dominicans. I think this has been sitting on my shelf. I was thinking about the reading one's own challenge. So I'm just going to try and read this through Lent, through the beginning of Lent, the 26th. Then, if I want to, I'm going to switch to this, because this is a study guide written by Raymond Brown. I read the version of this for Advent, which I really enjoyed, and I was going to read this for Lent this year. But if I like this and this is doing it for me, then I'll just keep on with this. If not, I'll switch to this. I'll just make up my mind when I get to it, but that's at the end of February. Oh, and I forgot to say that in January, I'm just working my way through the Complete Little World of Don Camillo, which I love. It's just a bunch of short stories, though, strung together with the same characters in this village in Italy. Really delightful, funny stuff, but thought-provoking. So I'll probably keep pecking away at this, but I'm not committing to finishing it in February. Let's see. So I think that's it. So in February, I'm going to try Third Reich, Joe's Boys. I'm going to study Latin. I might do a couple of videos on Latin. And I'll try to do the updates on the Third Reich, and I'll do a review of Joe's Boys on the 29th. And I don't know about the Classics Club spin. I've been lucky this time and the time before that it just so happened that the selection were plays I could read quickly. But if it's anything heavy duty, I can't do it. I have to study for my Latin exam. So I think that's all I wanted to talk about. Let's see, The Tempest, January wrap up, February plans, which are basically studying for Latin. So I think that's it. All right, well, take care, and I'll talk to you later. Bye.